Welcome everyone, I'm Ray and today we will continue or rather finish this case, this event and this freaking murder mystery which is mysterious, so it's definitely living up to its name. I hope so far you have a fun time and I hope you are all comfy. Get comfy and let's just dive right into it. Why should we waste any more time, right? Murderer is the next one, so we are really not wasting any time. That's actually surprising. What is it? Doctor's right. The incision on the body could only have been made by someone much shorter. Wait! I mean, if they would have given me this information sooner, then I would have immediately said it's Joffrey. We can't let her know this. It's too cruel for a child. We are in an empty utility room in the underground lab of the mansion, which is now a bit crowded due to the 3 corpses lying side by side. Oh, we are only now checking the corpses? Guys, that's the first thing you should do. I mean, I think. Maybe I really watched and played too much Danganronpa. Yeah, maybe. Have you checked Mr. Joyce's body in the treatment room next door? Yes, I have. It's indeed him. And I've checked all vital signs. He's dead for real. Well, that sucks because I was really kind of hoping and wishing here. I'm curious. Did you already suspect Sora before you visited her today? Wait, Sora? I'm not suspecting Sora even now. Wait a second. Why are we suspecting Sora now? Just a simple guess, based on the position of the scarlet word on the wall. They didn't even... Oh, come on. You have to give me all information to even make guesses. There was never said that it was... I don't know. Was it said? Maybe it was said. But I don't know. Did they tell us? Could I have guessed this? Because they neither said that the wound could only come from someone shorter, and they didn't tell me about the position of the word. So, could I have seen that? Oh, I'm so mad if I could have seen that. It was almost level with Raven's head, who died sitting on the ground, leaning against the wall. An adult of normal height would need to bend over or squat down to write the word. Okay, to be fair, would kind of make sense for the overall picture, right? To have the word right next to her and not way higher? Okay, maybe that's just me, I don't know. That's a weird thing to say, maybe that's just me. What the heck? Which would not be a comfortable posture for writing, but the word was obviously written smoothly, which means... Wait, but squatting down you can write perfectly, no? The writer of the word was likely to be the same height as a child, and there happened to be a child on the scene. Oh, maybe while she was dreaming, or maybe while she was dizzy. Or are they really saying that she did it consciously? It's common sense, not a law, so it cannot be used as evidence in legal procedure, yeah. You're witty as ever, Doctor. Though the process of your reasoning followed facts and common sense, the deduction you've reached sounds improbable. I agree with Miss Adler. Your deduction this time is just implausible. Do you really think the perpetrator of the serial killings is a phantom? Wait, so we are thinking it's the phantom, but like, it can control people's minds? I can't follow. I'm not sure, Hura. Those who doubt always try to fit their own guesses into facts, but I deduce from facts and see if my deductions fit. Okay, I'm definitely guilty of the first one. But yeah, the second, deduce from facts and see if my deduction fits, is the right way to yeah. This is what I have deduced from the facts known to us. As I talk, I bent over and sniffed Grey Serpent's body. So I was right after all. The only one that was mentioned smell with from the people in the mansion was Joachim. And I will not let that go until I'm proven to be stupid again. Over and over again. I think we can skip the reasoning and directly identify the murderer, but I need you to help me with something first. Wait, are we thinking the same thing? Or am I completely on the wrong track? Because I would completely believe that I'm on the wrong track. What the? Rosemary? Okay, but Rosemary was Bronia's thing, no? The air is filled with a delicate floral scent. Yes, this is the source of the scent. I'm standing in the yard in front of the mansion, sniffing at the fragrance of rosemary. A man is carefully pruning next to me. Huh. I didn't know you were interested in flowers too, Doctor. Do we think it's him? Oh, I have learned some basic botany for professional reasons. Rosemary stems are lignified quickly. Too much pruning may harm the growth of new foliage, so it's best not to trim off more than half of a stem overall length at one time. And what you're doing is textbook pruning, Mr. Joachim. These plants must have been well tended in the past 5 years. I see you are very proud of your endless erudition? I have never seen that word ever. I heard the complacency in your tone. Joachim responded without even looking up. I raised an eyebrow. This conversation is very sus, so I'm really thinking it's him. You seem to have a distaste for me, Mr. Joachim. I just hope you can do your job properly, Doctor. I don't want to see Bronia worried and scared. It's your duty to find the murderer and put an end to these horrors. Are you sure you can afford wasting time here? In my defense, I am doing my job here right now. What? I abruptly approached Joachim, clutched his wrist, and whispered to him. You know who the murderer is from the very beginning, don't you? Wait, are we thinking Bronia? We are not thinking Bronia. We are not thinking, to be honest. My small brain isn't. I don't know what you're talking about. But now I know Dr. Einstein shouldn't have trusted you with this case. His breathing was steady and his pulse did not quicken, so I decided to drop another bomb. She's here, isn't she? Are we talking about Seele now? The second bomb has obviously caused damage. Joachim's body quivered. His hand seems to have been frozen on the rosemary stems. I can tell that he is trying hard to calm himself down. I don't understand a thing you said, Doctor, but you're making me uncomfortable. It's alright. All the puzzles will clear up soon. I let go of his wrist and took a look at my watch. It's about time. Come with me, please. Let's settle this matter once and for all. Why is Doyle so freaking cool? Detectives are the coolest people ever in stories. You guys know that I have a thing for smart people, right? And detectives are just the best. Even if I can't follow. I just love to see them play their mind games and tricks and stuff and be just trying to stumble behind them. When I stepped into the hall, everyone was present except Hua and the bedridden Sora. Doctor, I've gathered everyone here as you requested. Thank you, Dr. Einstein. I scanned around, passing through everyone's face before I cleared my throat. Hey, is it true you found the murderer, expert Snoop? Well, Dr. Tesla, how about you call me something else? Whatever. Stop holding it up and just tell us who it is. Sure. The conclusion is, Grey Serpent killed Mr. Joyce, but he was not responsible for the other 3 murders. And I presume it is someone among us then, Doctor? Yes, but we'll get to that part later. First, let's look at how Mr. Welt Joyce was murdered. It really is someone from us here. Oh, I am so excited. Come on, lay it all out. After all, this is the very reason I'm here now, Dr. Einstein. May I? As Dr. Einstein nodded in consent, I went over what I was going to say in my head. It all started 5 years ago, if not any earlier. Mr. Joyce had 2 lineal descendants. One is Joey, and the other one went missing years ago. Let's just call the other one Omega 2. 5 years ago, the catastrophic event hit St. Fountain and Lab 42 came for relief. This was just an appearance. What Mr. Joyce truly wished to find out was the test that caused the disaster and Omega 2. Every sign leads to the fact that the high-ups of the church had a hand in the tests, but no record was left. Naturally, According to Raven, no one from the church was directly involved. The tests were led by Jekyll. Grey Serpent was the materials supplier. Raven handled the delivery of materials. Oh, what a team they make. Wait, what do you mean by materials? I think you know Jekyll better than me. It wasn't the first time for her to meddle with human subjects. That's ridiculous. If she took in a lot of human subjects, how could she get away with unwanted attention? I believe you've noticed, Dr. Tesla. Back then in St. Fountain, there was a place to take in orphans legitimately. Joachim, is it true? You are managing the church just for this atrocious business? Tesla's anger silenced the whole hall. Everyone held their breath and looked to the same person. Joachim pursed his lips and slowly closed his eyes. Dr. Tesla, it must be a mistake. Mr. Joachim, here. I know, it is indeed a mistake. I asked Raven about Mr. Joachim's role in the tests. She told me he was kept in the dark all along, right until the city was turned into ruins. Okay, so at least there is no misunderstanding here. But can we take her words for it? We kind of have to, but no, there's more evidence, right? I believe yes. Raven confessed after she saw Mr. Joyce's notes, which pointed out Mr. Joyce was onto Grey Serpent. The tests on human subjects led to St. Fountain's fall. Once revealed, the truth will crucify everyone involved. So, Grey Serpent acted first and killed Welt. This explains Grey Serpent's motive. After Jekyll's death and Soda's kidnap, Raven became sure Grey Serpent meant to silence everyone involved. She made the confession knowing she'd probably die in Grey Serpent's hands. I don't think she had any reason to lie. I was there too, and I believe she was telling the truth. No, wait, I'm not sure I'm following. The test that caused the catastrophe, and Grey Serpent's motive, I got this part. But Joachim, you knew what Welt was after all these years. Why did you keep your mouth shut? What the hell is your plan? Yeah, Joachim, please tell me more. Dr. Tesla, I believe Mr. Joachim will give us a convincing explanation himself. Let's see about that. But before that, let's return to the case itself. The killer of Jekyll, Grey Serpent and Raven is still among us. Okay. What? But to follow what you just told us. Grey Serpent killed Welt, Jekyll and kidnapped Soda. Raven then killed him to save Soda at the cost of her life. That explains everything, right? No. It's a fine story, but I believe you left out something important. Rache. The blood writing. Yes, what I'm about to say might sound far-fetched, so I'd like to begin with the two murderers after Mr. Joyce. In normal circumstances, Dr. Tesla's explanation makes perfect sense. If not for the blood writings. Rache means revenge in German. If it was Grey Serpent, he apparently didn't kill for revenge. Guys, it's hard to read because I'm kind of holding my breath because I'm really excited about the deduction that we will witness here. On the other hand, if the writing was merely a distraction, then why didn't we see it near Mr. Joyce's body? True. Dr. Tesla and Einstein said when they found Mr. Joyce, Grey Serpent was also there with a knife on his back. But when they got Mr. Joyce to the emergency room and returned, Grey Serpent was gone. I examined Grey Serpent's body firsthand, trying to get an answer. The back wound went to the heart, a fatal blow, and the wound had rotten so much that it's safe to say he died exactly around the time of Mr. Joyce's death. What? Which means a corpse rose from the dead and killed Jekyll and Raven before it was finally put to rest. That indeed defies everything logical. To begin with, it's hard to imagine all three directly involved in the test should show up in St. Fountain together. Huh, that is hardly a coincidence. The killings were for revenge, and the three victims shared one thing in common: the Forsaken tests 5 years ago. So of all the people here today, who has the best reason to see these three dead? The hall fell silent after my question. It was more than obvious. Doctor, that's very sound reasoning, but I must say the conclusion is based on the unfounded presumption of guilt. Yes, Bronya and I were victims of the horrendous event 5 years ago, but that doesn't mean we're guilty. And I'd like to remind you, both of us, we're by your side when the 2 murders took place. You're right, motive doesn't make you murder, but there are too many things about you that makes no sense. I agree, kind of. I never thought I'd say that. I never thought I'd say that. But especially the smell. Like, the moment the scent was noticed, I was sus of him the whole time. You knew exactly what happened 5 years ago, but you never said anything to Mr. Joyce after joining Lab 42. You knew Jekyll was responsible for the tragedy, but you still made her Bronia's governess nonetheless. You knew more tragedies would follow if they got their hands on Mr. Joyce's legacy, but you still invited them here. Unless, of course, none of them would walk out of the manor alive in your plan. Utter gibberish. Say whatever you want. Everyone here, including yourself, is our alibi. As long as this stands, everything you said is just wild fantasy. Honestly, him saying we have an alibi instead of we are not guilty, we didn't do it, makes him look more guilty in my eyes. Because he is so keen on his alibi that it makes him look like he planned this alibi. So he planned to do it all along in a way that he has an alibi, or they have an alibi. So I'm really thinking that either he can control something, or Bronya, or maybe Zele, or maybe Joffrey, I don't know, that someone can control the Phantom or whatever it is. Ah, I knew it would eventually come to this. I sighed and put the comlink prepared by Dr. Tesla close to my lips. Action speaks louder than words, and that's how I'm going to prove my theory. I love these scenes in a detective story, okay? Hua, how is the preparation going on your side? I'm ready, Doctor. I turned to face the group with a grim look. I'm going to burn every Rosemary in the yard. I found surprise on Dr. Tesla and Bronia's faces, but before they could speak, someone's breakdown came faster. Stop it. You can't do this. Care to explain me why? Dr. Einstein has given her consent. You... Don't worry, Mr. Joachim. Dr. Tesla told me the church was burned down 5 years ago, but the Rosemary survived. Yeah, that was weird, right? It might take Hua some time, but fortunately we've prepared enough fuel. It's time for us to find out whether Rosemary truly stands for eternity or not. Just bloody stop it! The hysterical scream came from a man of maturity and refinement. He soon regained calm in everyone's shocked gaze. Care to tell us something? I confess, I killed Grey Serpent, Jackal, and Raven. I need to know why and how. More the how. What's going on? I'm lost here. I'll leave the details to the murderer himself. And before that, I'm afraid we have to temporarily restrain your freedom, Mr. Joachim. Before I finished my words, Hua had come out of hiding and slowly approached Joachim. Yeah, they probably never planned to burn it down, right? It's a trap. A bitter smile floated up Joachim's face. What? To everyone's surprise, someone small stepped forward in front of him. Joffrey? Oh no, I'm so scared now. Bronya! Don't touch him. Bronya. Miss Zajcik, I know how you feel. Shut up! You know nothing about him or us. All of this is my plan. My revenge. Okay, makes sense that he confessed this easily now. And this is only the beginning. Oh! Okay. What the heck? That's so weird. So, I was thinking he confessed too easily, but also I didn't quite think it was Bronya all along. Just because of the first intro scene to this event. Because in the first intro scene of this event, she said that she resents him as much as she trusted him. That's why I didn't really suspect that she planned it right now. They caught me off guard, but Bronya, you're not stronger than Irene Adler. Can we get back to talking? I need to know more. Just quit it, Miss Bronya. Your enemies are all gone. You can stop now, Bronya. No, I can't stop. You don't understand. I used to be very grateful to Grey Serpent who brought me, a lowly child soldier, back from the battlefield. In the church, I met Zele and Joey, my beloved little sister and brother. For the first time in my life, I felt there was something worth cherishing in the world. But that woman named Jackal, she had been making modifications to all the orphans in the name of treatment. I knew something wasn't right, so I started my own investigation. I thought I had been doing it secretly, but they were still alerted. Raven and Grey Serpent somehow knew my plan to confront Sensei, so they pushed me down the stairs. They? Raven and Grey Serpent? Oh my god, okay. When I woke up again, I had already been sent to one of the Institute's hospitals outside St. Fountain. I tried so many times to leave. I wanted to return to St. Fountain to take Zele and Joey away, but at that time, I hadn't recovered from my leg injury, so all my escapes failed. And one day, I read in the newspaper that a cataclysm occurred, and St. Fountain had become a dead city. Bronya. Over the years, I've done many investigations with all resources I could possibly access. I even used my bequeathment to lure my enemies. Project Pseudo-Herrscher. This was the name of the experiment. They tried to create a Herrscher? It was to create powerful pseudo-Herrschers by modifying the copies of the first Herrscher Weltjoyce. He was still the first Herrscher even here? What the heck? By modifying the copies. Oh god. How did you know about all this, Bronya? They did those human experiments on the orphans purely out of their sick craving for powers. In the end, the project failed. St. Fountain was ruined, and my little brother became a nameless monster who killed our sister. Oh. What? The Phantom of St. Fountain is Omega 2? They all deserve to die. So I used Grey Serpent to kill Jackal, so that I didn't have to get her evil blood on my hands. Grey Serpent was the next. His first death was an accident, but I didn't want to let him off easy. Oh my god, his first death was an accident, okay. I was right. Raven once mentioned she was also an orphan taken in by Grey Serpent. It was him who trained her to be a mercenary. So I controlled Grey Serpent to take Sora, to have him killed again by his own pupil. Wow. As for Raven, she was ridiculously naive as a merciless mercenary. After everything she had done, she started to adopt orphans all of a sudden. I couldn't stop laughing when I first heard about that. Trying to go straight and make amends, huh? No way. Bad people only deserve to die alone in the shadows. So you controlled Sora to kill her. That is just cruel. Sora didn't do anything. So that is just unnecessarily cruel. You're indeed incisive, Doctor. The bitterness of being killed by someone she had cared and protected. She must taste it, just like my sister did. I should have thought of this earlier. I thought the merciless avenger who had been hiding in the dark was Joachim, but I didn't know. You had been holding such violent hatred. Anyway, this should be the end of your revenge. Your enemies are all gone. The end? No, Doctor. Do you really think my revenge is complete after I killed the 3 pawns? Schicksal, the Institute. I know this behemoth is behind all this. When first I realized Schicksal was behind the project, I swore I'd one day erase its entire existence from the world. That is understandably now. No, but like, just in the overall plot, it makes a whole lot of sense, yeah. I opened my mouth but failed to say anything. My usual calmness has been overwhelmed by Bronia's deep resentment. Her obsession with revenge is too intense to be eased by a sense of justice. So I can't stop now. Bronia gave a cruel smile. She reached out her hand and gently stroked Joachim's cheek. You'll protect me, right, Joffrey? What? Yes, Bronia. My dear big sister? What? What the huh? What the actual heck? So, I can't. What? So, did Joachim die in the cataclysm? And Bronya kind of transferred Joffrey's mind? I'm in shock. Joachim has a calm look on his face, but I somehow see a trace of craziness on it. Like, everything so far didn't necessarily shock me. But this, what? The next moment, deafening roar. Actually, that makes even more sense now that Joachim stepped in front of Bronya when the Phantom attacked. Oh, wow. A fierce roar came from nowhere. What the? A hideous monster emerged out of thin air behind Bronya and Joachim. The Phantom? And the next second, the monster took Bronya and Joachim and vanished. We all know the monster's name, but only Dr. Tesla came back to senses from the shock and said it out loud. It was the Phantom of St. Fountain! What the actual heck? What? What? Wait. Then the intro was completely to throw us off, right? The intro was probably from the moment that Joachim, the real Joachim, died. And Bronya... Wait, maybe it was even Bronya killing... No, wait, Bronya died. No, wait, what? Wait, now I'm... Okay, my brain is complete mush right now. What the heck is going on? Joffrey? Joachim is Omega 2? I figured it out instantly. The Joffrey that Bronya just mentioned is not the timid little boy who follows around Dr. Einstein, but Omega 2. If Joachim is Omega 2, then what is that Phantom? Doctor, I don't know. Who woke me up from my contemplation? The only thing I can think of is maybe Zele, but they said that Joffrey killed Zele. So I'm not quite sure. What should we do now, Doctor? We have no devices or techniques to track down that Phantom. Don't worry about it, Dr. Einstein. It's Bronya and Joachim that we should track, not the Phantom. Before we assembled here, I borrowed a tracking device from Dr. Tesla and managed to stick it on Joachim's coat. Oh, in the garden, right? Ah, was it when you were in the yard? You knew back then that the Phantom would come? Of course not. I'm not a psychic. I was just taking precautions to prevent them from running away. That's so smart. The real problem is we don't have any weapons or measures that could hurt the Phantom. Even if we could track down Bronya and Joachim, with the Phantom around, we wouldn't be able to bring them back. Oh, you don't need to worry about that. I've been analyzing the data we collected from the Phantom after our encounter with it. The analysis went well, and I made this device based on the results. It can interfere with quantum states. Quantum, that's what I couldn't remember all those episodes. I wanted to say maybe someone from them, maybe Zele, can now access the quantum state, or Joffrey, but Joffrey is now Joachim, so that fell flat. Anyway, the word that I was missing all those episodes along was quantum. I think it will effectively hurt the Phantom if we activate it in battle. Then let's set off. Sure, let's hunt down the Phantom, and after that we will probably get another heartbreak, and Bronya will die and resent Joffrey or Joachim? Is Joachim alive? Will he come? I've got so many questions. St. Fountain Railway Station, the only link the city has with the outside world. With a twist amidst the void, two people and a monster emerged. Thank you, Mr. Joachim. Wait. Huh? Sorry, this is all my fault. Why is she calling him Joachim now? Wait, what? No, Joffrey. Conan Doyle is every bit as good as his name, and we were caught off guard by his cheap shot. Okay, so it's Joffrey, but she sometimes calls him Joachim, or was the Joachim directed to the Phantom? I wonder how he came to know about the Rosemary secret. And I'm still wondering what exactly it is with the Rosemary secret, but it's okay. Maybe not on his own, but with some help from Seele. Yes. Enough. How many times must I repeat? She is dead, and whatever is in the flowers is not her. Well, it kind of is, because she's appearing in dreams and stuff, so... But... if she was, she'd come to me long ago. I think she wants to stop you to go the wrong way, even though you're already on the wrong way, because that's how Seele is. Seele is... no matter the story, Seele is always the sweet girl. Can we have one story where Seele is the bad one? That would be so fun if she would trick us all with her innocent act, and then at the end... the evil self would emerge. That would be so fun. What should we do now? Leave St. Fountain and lay low before the time is right for our next move. They've all paid with their blood. The only thing left for us to do is leave. I believe we have still unsettled business here, Miss Zaitchik. Ooh! Who is there? Whew, made it! Never thought Dr. Tesla's wild driving would actually do some good one day. I love that this comes back. Miss Zaitchik, come with us, please. No way you could locate the Phantom. Why? She suddenly thought of something and began to search herself. Failing to find what she looked for, she tucked Joachim over and finally found a red dot on the inside of his sleeve. Another cheap shot. Whatever works. Prepare to transfer. However, this time, the Phantom could not just vanish into thin air with the two like the last time. It let out a scream of puzzlement and confusion. After all this time, you still think we're unable to develop any countermeasures? Checkmate, Miss Zaitchik. Will we fight? No, I'm actually scared. The counter force field is on. Hit it with everything you've got. Well, Dr. Tesla has spoken and I won't hold back now. We won't hold back. Bronya, I'm sorry, I love you, honey. But for the sake of our detective story, our techs heard it. Dr. Tesla's invention is working. Miss Fuha, time to show the monster our most elegant dance. That's cool. But let's also sometimes just dodge it. Okay, that worked better than I thought. Without the protection of the quantum state, the Phantom finally fell down under our overwhelming attacks. Its physical composition is very unstable. It might still come back to life if we don't annihilate it now. But I know what you're worried about, Hua, but this Phantom is not Omega 2. It's nothing but a Honkai beast. Really? If Miss Fuha doesn't have the heart to end its life, leave the dirty work to me then. Yeah, you're just an opera singer, right? Sure. Irene brushed past us and raised her deadly scythe. The Phantom under the scythe is like a wounded beast in a trap awaiting its doom. Sensei! A scream was heard along with the sound of metal clashing together. Bronya and her shield was knocked over by Irene's giant scythe. Did Joachim, their sensei, turned into this beast? Sensei? I suddenly thought of a detail of the intel Hua told me. It was when they first met the Phantom. When Joachim was shielding Bronya with himself, the Phantom suddenly stopped its attack and disappeared. Maybe it was confused because it saw itself? I don't know. It turns out when Bronya cried out Sensei, she was actually calling this hideous monster rather than Joachim. Stop, Irene! I shouted at the last second. To my surprise, Irene unhurriedly held her scythe, as if it was what she had expected. She is so weird, I love her. Hey, expert Snoop, didn't you hear what I just said? Doctor, what is going on? This is unbelievable. I thought the serial murder and Grey Serpent's undead corpse were already uncanny. But there's actually something even more unexpected. Yeah, and how and why and what? I believe this Phantom is the real Joachim, the sensei and father of the orphans before the cataclysm. But why? And how? And how has it still some of its consciousness? You're making me go crazy. What does it all mean? I only got more questions. Oh, of course, now we are at goodbye. Sure. Of course. Why not? Let's have some seriously tragic story time. Will we say goodbye to Joachim though? You saw it through after all. Bronya slowly hobbled over to us, leaning on Joachim. You're right. This phantom is Joachim, who was our sensei 5 years ago. What? I have a question, Omega 2. No, Mr. Joffrey. I remember Miss Bronya once mentioned that the failed experiment turned you into a mindless monster 5 years ago. Yes, though I don't remember anything about that experience. I saw the horrible memories stored in this body. Seele, my big sister, was killed by me. Then how did you get into this body? Come to think of it, it seems more like a soul swap, perhaps? Wait, what? I don't know. I really don't. This body gave me all of Sensei's memories, experiences, and knowledge, except for the memory of the soul swap. All I could remember about it was a promise that Sensei made to Seele before she died. Don't tell me that Sensei Joachim wanted Joffrey to live and that's why he kind of swapped, maybe? A promise. He promised to let me die as a human, even if it means he may have to exchange his soul with the devil. Joachim is such a freaking wholesome bean. A really sad, already kind of dead wholesome bean, but still. I shouldn't say this as a scientist, but this paranormal phenomenon seems to only make sense when devils are involved. Doctor, we've answered your question, so please answer our question in exchange. As long as I have the answer. I'd like to know, how did you find out about the secret of Rosemary? Will we finally know, maybe? Find out. You overestimated me, Miss Bronya. If your sister hadn't left me those hints, I'd never have thought floral scents could be used as a medium of possession. Oh my god. Possession. Okay. That's actually interesting, and I don't know why, but somehow it makes sense. Hold on. What are you two talking about? In the mansion, I played some tricks to make the murderer confess, which sparked off a series of unexpected events. But I haven't explained to you about the kind of magic they've used to control Grey Serpent's dead body and make the murders happen. First devils, now magic. Am I still in the real world? Right? They might be the same thing, I think. What does that mean? I once said that there was something paradoxical about the serial murder, the word Rache written with blood. It's true that in many cases the murderers intentionally left messages at the crime scenes to display their will. But in this case, the word actually made the Grey Serpent murdered all the insiders of the experiment to cover for himself story less credible. So it occurred to me, maybe the one who wrote the word was trying to reveal the real motive of the murderer. Wait, so Seele wrote it maybe? Or Seele's ghost? Do we have ghosts here? And what happened next bore out my assumption. When I was visiting Sora, I fell into a dream in which I became a strange little girl. Through her eyes, I saw what happened in a certain lab before the cataclysm happened. And in the end of the dream, I heard the girl humming a certain poem. The rose is red, the violet is blue. Mary is sweet, and so are you. The rose is red and Mary is blue. We were deceived, and so are you. Yes, it's the same poem left on Mr. Joyce's desk at his death scene. Oh, right! Right, why would a dead girl, or a girl that appears in our dreams, hum this? Okay, I haven't even thought about it that way. I was finally sure that the girl in my dream was real, and she had been trying to send messages to us. And obviously, Mr. Joyce had also met this girl before. He mentioned about her in his notes that I found in his room. So it occurred to me, maybe this girl was trying to tell us more. In fact, when I was in the dream, Irene, Einstein, and Sora all saw that I walked to the window, opened it, and started to mutter to myself. And why were we not told? Why? If that behavior was also a hint, then the girl must have some sort of ability to control people's bodies in dream. Whoa! That's awesome, what? Crazy as it may sound, it could explain all the illogical aspects of this case. Such as? Dr. Einstein, I remember you told me that you heard Mr. Joyce talking to someone on the phone before he was killed. Did he talk to a ghost or in his dream? Yes, I assumed that because I only heard his voice as the conversation proceeded. What if Mr. Joyce was in a state similar to the one I was in? He could be talking to the air just like I did. Oh my god, this makes so much sense. It is possible. I remember Miss Bronia mentioned in her confession that Mr. Joyce's death was an accident. So I think it was because of Mr. Joyce's unconsciousness that Grey Serpent easily murdered him. Ha! And then, the girl controlled Mr. Joyce's body to give Grey Serpent an unexpected stab in the back and controlled Grey Serpent's body to leave the scene. What? But why? Your imagination is impressive. You're a natural novelist. An ordinary detective would have been trapped in common sense. But you managed to break free and even devised a method of trickery to verify your wild hypothesis. Well, at that time I believed making you think I was going to burn down the flowers was the easiest way to reveal the uncanny truth. But what you just explained doesn't have anything to do with Rosemary. I mean, there must be something. No, there was Rosemary's scent in the room. Oh, about that. It was actually also a hint from the girl. I told you, she controlled me to open the window. And from the yard, probably the smell of the rosemary drifted into the room. Well, is that it? So after I woke up from the dream, I looked out of the window and saw nothing but a yard full of rosemary. Which reminded me of the first time I fell into a dream about the girl. It was when I was examining Jackal's corpse. I smelled a pleasant floral scent coming from Joachim, who was standing next to me. Then I suddenly realized that I knew that scent. I had smelled it several times. In Mr. Joyce's room, on Grey Serpent's rotting body, and on Soda, whom I visited after Raven's death. Everything comes together. I see. That's how you knew Raven was killed by the possessed Soda. Not just that, the angle of the incision in Raven's throat also suggested the murderer was much shorter than her, and the height of the scarlet word on the wall also agreed with this conjecture. On top of all this, I found a familiar face in the role of the cataclysm victims that I borrowed from Dr. Einstein. What? The girl who made me see what happened in the lab 5 years ago must be someone from the orphanage, and I found her. Her name was Seele Vollerei, who was Broniat Zajcik's little sister and best friend in the orphanage. Thank you for elaborating, Doctor, but I don't think the girl hiding in Rosemary's scent is my sister Seele. If it really was her, then why did she reveal my plan to you, while assisting me with my revenge? Yeah, that's kind of weird, isn't it? That's why I thought, okay, maybe partially, maybe she only wrote the blood, and Bronia controlled the corpse? But why would she control the corpse as well, right? That's weird. I see you still haven't understood. Me too. It's certainly because she loves her sister and little brother deeply. So she's been helping them, while still hoping someone would find out and rescue them from the gory path of revenge. That makes sense. Yeah, okay. I kind of get it. Maybe you're right, Doctor. Bronia opened her hand. There's the glowing mauve bloom in her palm. It's most rosemary, the flower of memories. Why would you rather appear in other people's dreams than coming to me? If Doctor is right, if that's how you really feel. Bronia hesitated no more. She raised the rosemary and gently kissed the delicate petals. Then show me. A strong fragrance diffused like a night breeze as the rosemary in Bronia's hand dissolved into red and black hues. For a moment, I seemed to see a red figure soundlessly emerge behind Bronia. She embraced Bronia's slender neck, then their figures overlapped. What? If you have to stand in my way of revenge, then take my burning rage now. Oh my god! Now we really have to fight her. And that's the I mean, not bad Seele, you know. This is all so much. This is... I'm not even sure my mind is completely caught up to everything that has happened so far. It's freaking awesome though. She's become even more violent. Watch out, she's consumed by hatred now. Oh, and she's all the time also in quantum state. Poor child, let me guide you to the land of peaceful rest. Honestly, Irene is scary. She is way too scary. I should dodge more. Dodging is good. Because my mind is dodging thinking right now. This is incredible. It's all over. She was exhausted. She could feel the raging fury that used to control her faded gradually and vanished at last. The rosemary in her hand, which was supposed to bloom eternally, had withered and become hideous, sere remains. So this is how you refuted me. By helping me vent my anger until we are both hurt and exhausted. So, this is what awaits at the end of the path of revenge, isn't it? Oh, this is beautiful! The rain kept pouring down. Bronya weakly looked up. Her eyes widened in surprise. Can she see her? Oh! Bronya and Seele's story will never fail to get me. She saw a clear, vivid figure. It's her friend, her sister, and her family. For so many years, she has been treating this figure as just a figment, a phantom, and a handy tool for her revenge. Because the phantom never smiled or spoke to her, or kept her warm when the cold came, like Seele used to. But she just realized, Seele has always been with her. She was just blinded by the intense hatred in her mind. She knows it's Seele, because only Seele would shed sorrowful tears for her. Oh my god, this is way too good. Seele. Oh. Seele. Bronya. Joey? I've known this all along. Because I've been looking after the Rosemary. And our memories. Though Seele cannot talk to us, she has always been with us. I'm sorry, Bronya. But rather than taking revenge, I want the three of us together. Joey. Seele. Tears ran down her cheeks. For the first time since she indulged herself in the overwhelming desire for vengeance. She felt her real emotions. Then she saw an unreal image. Oh no! Oh please stop this! Oh please! No, can we stop? Can we stop here? Let's just... It gets me, even though she's responsible for the serial killings. But she gets me. This whole story gets me. Can Seele turn around too? In bright white light, a gentle, cultivated man and a girl in blue are leaving, hand in hand. The man looked back and waved at her with a comforting smile, as if he just perceived her gaze. Take care, dear Bronya. They said their farewell and faded away in the vile light. Oh, when she came back to her senses, she found the seer flower remains in her hand gone with the wind. And that monstrous phantom was also gone. Oh. She finally started to wail miserably. This is so sad, but it's kind of a... I can't even say it's a good ending because people died, but I guess it's an emotionally good ending. Case closed, Doctor. Yeah, the only thing left to do is deal with the two culprits. Which is not the detective's job. Dr. Einstein, I think we should let Mr. Joyce decide. Wait, what? Wait, huh? Huh, I didn't expect another twist in the end. How fascinating. What? 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 You're making no sense, Doctor. Yeah. What do you mean? You said it himself. You said it yourself. He is dead. Is he not? Is it because he is a Herrscher that he is not dead? Agreed. I have no idea what you're talking about. What? It's okay, Ein. Tesla. No need to cover for me now that I'm already exposed. A small figure emerged from the corner of the street. Obviously, he saw everything that just happened. It's Joffrey's body? Joey? It's Joffrey Joyce. He now looks too solemn as a child, but I can see he's trying to give a friendly smile. What the actual? What? But we are really still not getting a 3D in-game model for Val Joyce, and I call that bullshit. When will we get justice for Val Joyce? I'm kind of happy that he's still alive, but when will there be justice? But for real? That's why he never said a thing to not give himself away? And because... Wait, so was this body always just a puppet? And that's why the picture in his office? Because in the office, and we never really clarified that, Joey looked like a puppet just being propped up. So did they already plan this from what? I thought I had been hiding well. Could you tell me when I gave myself away, Doctor? You have indeed hidden well, Mr. Joyce, but there have been a few subtle hints. The first one was the paradoxical aura you exuded when you gave testimony at Jekyll's death scene. You weren't like a timid boy at all. True, I completely forgot about that. There were so many things going on. They really did this way too well. I knew it. I'm a fan of your detective stories and have always wanted to say lines like that. So I got carried away. Oh, I still love Val Joyce too much. But what really makes me realize that you're still alive is something more solid than an intuitive feeling. Is it the picture? It's probably kind of the picture. What is it? The change in Dr. Einstein's attitude. What? The investigation once came to a dead end before Raven told us about the experiment, which provided a turnaround. And the reason why she told us was because we found the notes about the experiment and Grey Serpent in your room. What's wrong with that? Yeah, what? I checked your bookshelf on my first search in your room and it wasn't there. Wait, so did he write it after? The notes weren't there at that time. And under that circumstance, the way Dr. Einstein infuriated Raven just felt too intentional. Right, I said it. It wasn't like Einstein at all. What? I mean, of course, I didn't know. I'm just saying, I at least I noticed that Einstein was behaving weird. Well, I knew I wasn't good at acting. I remember clearly that when we first arrived, Dr. Einstein was loath to talk about the Phantom and the Cataclysm. Very true. Yet she provided me those key clues that could push the investigation forward via such a poor act. Such a dramatic change in her attitude could only be a result of someone's instructions. Ooh! And I can't think of anyone else in this menu that could order Dr. Einstein, except for the deceased Mr. Joyce. I see. That's really impressive. Then what's with your situation? I wouldn't believe it if you told me you turned into a little boy for fun. Yeah. That's certainly not the case, but I really don't know why it happened. Really? You've already deduced the details of the murder. In fact, I don't remember anything about it. When I woke up again, I was already in this body. Wait. So what if Seele kind of helped to not get him killed? Maybe? Maybe not. I have to ask, now that you're occupying this body, where's the original soul of this Omega-2? I don't think he had a soul. That's probably the play here. It doesn't exist. I'm so sorry, Doctor. I had Ian lie to you. Yeah, no, that's what at least that I figured out 5 minutes. 5 minutes ago. There were indeed 2 of my copies, but there's only one Omega-2, which is the Joffrey in Joachim's body. Then this body never woke up since it was made. Though its vital signs have been normal, the lack of a soul still makes it defective. Wow. Anyway, I'm glad to see you're still alive, Mr. Joyce. Me too. I'm glad to meet you too, Dr. Conan Doyle. Welton cast a glance at Bronya and Joffrey and showed a trace of sadness. Mr. Joyce, you're my client. Now that the perpetrators have been identified, the rest is up to you to decide. I'd like to hear your suggestions, Doctor. I pondered for a moment and said in a measured tone. There were a few cases that made me realize sometimes catching the culprits brings more pain than the very crimes. Now I've learned to be more prudent. If I have to choose, I'd rather deceive the rules than my conscience. Really? Wow. I mean, I get it. But also, I'm the type that is more like, even though we get it now and even though we feel for them, that still doesn't make their crimes go away type of person, but I get it. I think so too. Sometimes one tragedy might lead to another, and this chain reaction may go on forever. But, I mean, Sora lost a very important person to her. And she's traumatized a little bit. And I mean, Jacqueline Raven died. I'm not so sad about Grey Serpent, but like... well, I think we just have to glance over that. Which will eventually push everything and everyone into a hopeless abyss. The 2 of them already bear too much pain. I'm glad to see we're in agreement on this matter. My dear Hua, it's time for our return trip if the train station hasn't been blown up. Hua nodded. Her reticence on occasions like this has been quite comforting to me. Welt also expressed his gratitude to Irene. I failed to figure out the relationships between them after all. I want to know! Please don't leave me hanging. Irene is a mystery. Irene is still a mystery and I need... like, that is a good ending, but I still get questions. Especially about Irene. Okay, let's first get the last fragment, okay? Right! That scene. Okay, but what is that scene about? Huh. It was indeed a tragic scene. The merciless rain poured down, but the remaining fires were still relentlessly burning all over the ruins. The building that was once called home had been wrecked and was almost unrecognizable. The bright full moon in the sky was witnessing everything, cruelly and soundlessly. A man was standing in hell, gazing into the darkness. Life had escaped from the eyes of the petite little girl who was lying in the ruins like a discarded doll. Wait, so it was Seele? The raging rain covered up all the noise, but the man believed she was there. Can it really save them? The man asked abruptly in a hoarse but calm voice. In a moment, a melodious female voice answered him. Wait, is it Irene now? Who knows? It brings different results to different wishes. Because that's also her color, isn't it? But you have no other choice, don't you? Wait, is she responsible for the soul swap? She soundlessly appeared behind him like a light dream. Her tone was still bewitching, but with less mockery. You're right. I have no other choice. He walked to the little girl and gently picked her up, like carrying a plume of smoke. She already vanished when he stood up, but he walked to the scorched flower bed anyway, carrying the little girl. Is Joachim responsible with Irene that Seele was kind of still there? The fire had burned down every inch of the church, let alone that clump of delicate rosemary. He looked at the flower bed that was once full of green and mauve hues. Ashes and charred twigs were the only things left, with embers greedily gnawing at them. But he didn't hesitate. He gently put the little girl on the remains of the flowers. I will keep my promise, Seele. Like a dreamy flashback, the clump of charred rosemary was instantly restored to its original beauty and delicacy. The green stems propped up the girl's body, and the mauve petals softly stroked her skin. The embers ebbed away upon contact of the petals, like a canoe being pushed back by the tide. It's their memory, an eternal sanctuary. Nothing could hurt her any more. The man thought so with relief. Who is Irene? Who the fuck? A terrible growl echoed throughout the rain. A giant, twisted figure can be made out in the distance. He began to run towards it resolutely. Wait for me, Joffrey. Die a human. Live on a human. That's when Joachim swapped, right? Oh, wow. The boy's memory was hazy and fragmented. He only remembered he had a dream after he woke up. A horrible dream, in which he was no longer a boy, but a big, ugly monster. His mouth had the taste of blood, and his claws ripped open what felt like human flesh. His eyes could only see red. He felt relieved waking up from the nightmare. For one instant, he thought he'd be trapped in the monster forever. But still, his body felt different. He lifted his hands and checked, and then he was, oh my god. Even though covered in mud and dirt, these big hands obviously belonged to a grown man. What happened to me? He now found his voice wrong too. It was a deep and familiar voice that he seemed to have heard every day. He panicked and got up to his feet, amidst the fire and wreckages. What on earth happened to him? He stood still in this living hell and laboredly searched his memory. At last he thought of something important and began to sprint towards what was left of the church. All this was quietly taken in by the eyes of the sorceress. She was gently nipping a delicate flower with soft blue glow. The glow kept flickering in the rain as if singing the Floriograph of the Rosemary. Name drop! Oh my god. That wasn't even the finale. What the heck? So it's all Irene, Rita? It's all Rita? Who is she? The sorceress? Even more questions. Ooh. Hello there. Do you got plans for the evening? I'm free if you don't mind to join me. Maybe do you want to come in for ramen or no? Oh, yeah, at least I tried. Wade Joyce announced that the members of Lab 42 had seceded from Schicksal and allied with the North American branch of Schicksal to form a new anti-Honkai organization named Anti-Entropy. Oh my god, we really go full circle. I didn't expect Wade Joyce would have made such a huge move after that incident. But he seemed to be indifferent to this shocking news. So is this when we visited, the first scene where we went up the stairs and wanted to go inside, is this that scene now? I'm used to going where the wind blows. I prefer dealing with little cases rather than huge organizations and systems. Anyway, a rival organization to Schicksal. Sounds like the right place for Bronya and Joffrey. Wow, they're working all together now. That's kind of sweet. I heard you just returned from a long journey. Did Hua tell you this? Yes, I went to the East region to take care of Raven's entrustment to me. True! Oh my god, I feel so bad for the children though, because Raven was nice to them, you know? Even though, of course, it didn't make right what she did wrong. But she was still nice to children. Those orphans she adopted have been taken in by Anti-Entropy. Ooh! I believe Mr. Joyce will take good care of them. Anyway, though this case was solved, I still don't have a clue how the possession via floral scent and soul exchanges happened. Care to tell me? I didn't know you'd be so obsessed with the paranormal. Before the phantom vanished, I thought I saw a mirage for a moment. Hmm? Ooh! We got more nice pictures. She's so beautiful. I saw Joachim and Sela leaving in white light. He looked back and waved his hand as if he was thanking someone. He was thanking her. Sounds more like he was just waving goodbye. No, my intuition told me he was expressing gratitude to someone. and for a moment, you seemed to be giving them a wave, though you weren't facing them. Ooh! He is so good. Oh, I did? Are you sure? Of course. This serial murder happened in St. Fountain. Might be the most uncanny case that I could ever experience in my life. And the uncanny part is... Oh! Okay, this? Okay, this has to be the thumbnail. And the uncanny part is... The grey serpent we saw wasn't really a grey serpent. The phantom wasn't the phantom. Joachim wasn't Joachim, and even Geoffrey wasn't really himself. Then, is it possible that Irene Adler wasn't really Irene Adler, and Conan Doyle wasn't the real Conan Doyle? What? Wait, what? Wait, stop it, stop. Who are you? Who I am is not important. The real question is, who are you? Me. I'm... You have the answers, but something seems to be clenching your throat and preventing you from voicing them out. Who am I? The people and incidents in your mind are real memories, but it felt as if you were browsing through an old album. What? Inside an isolated chamber, and the next moment... What? What is she doing? Wait, what? 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 Wait, I need to see that. One more time. You fell into endless darkness.
他醒了吗？
Wait.
没有，看来还需要一点时间。我已经成功让他找回了自己，醒过来只是时间问题。不过
Help find him. What is going on? This is the best.
他意识映射的过于频繁，人格里混入了太多不属于他的东西。
Wait.
这样下去，迟早有一天。
Consciousness mapping?
我知道，他也知道，但这就是他自己选择要做的事情。反倒是你，能够悄无声息地侵入修伯利安，还对这个人的情况了如指掌。
We are still the captain?
你和我以及这艘船上的其他人都不一样，我能感觉得到。
You are
倒不
more
如说，比起我们，
more
你和
like
他
him?
的存在才更加近似。
Wait. What?
你究竟是什么人？
Wait, are the others on the ship from bubble universes, but maybe Rita is from a parallel universe? Or am I I mean, I can be completely off.
关心大人，我记得我们似乎早有约定，
What?
我会负责把他带回来。但是相对的，请您不要过问我的身份和来历。哼，装神弄鬼的女人。而且，我从一开始就说过，我叫丽塔，丽塔洛斯威瑟。
So she's still Rita Rosewise.
虽然可能和您记忆中的那个人并非同一个体，不过您若是想要向我撒娇，我也并不介意。
Oh, that's kind of cute after the event where Kongmin just left Rita. Still not over that one.
这次看在你救了他的份上，我就暂时睁一只眼闭一只眼好了。
But she knows everything.
理当如此。不过，如果让我知道你会上这艘修伯利安是打着什么奇怪主意的话，
Yeah.
丽塔，任凭您处置，你自己知道就好。这个房间暂时就留作你在剑上的休憩之所。他若是醒了，让他休息一下，就来剑桥见我。
What
我
the
有
frick?
很多的话想。那他还真是多灾多难。哼，听见了吗？他好像非常生气的样子。
What? I got trolled. Wow. What the? Who are you? Who the heck are you? Please, let me escape from reality for a while.
看来你对我出现在这里似乎并不感到惊讶。
What? I know you and me are the same. I can feel that thing inside you. What? Okay, I seem to really... it seems I need to get into the Captainverse, because what do you mean I can feel that thing inside you?
意识映射并不是那么单纯的能力，你最好不要再使用下去了。
Does that mean maybe even the Captainverse has a tragic ending?
映射期间，你将完全同步对方的人格记忆，这份庞大信息所带来的负担，在映射解除后根本不可能做到毫无残留。残留的杂质越多，你的自我认知就会越来越薄弱。
Wow. Is that so? I did think I was that novelist this time. If you didn't help me remember myself, I wouldn't be here. Wow. So Rita, does that mean you...
你想说什么？
You what? Please spell it out. I'm stupid right now, please. Oh, nothing. I just had a nostalgic dream when my mind was still hazy. What do you mean you had a nostalgic dream when your mind was hazy? I'm going crazy. I need everything spelled out for me right now because this was too much. I feel better now. I'm gonna go meet her on the bridge. The lantern. Oh my god, Rita is... Now this Rita, Rosemary Rita, is the most interesting one so far. At least in the Captainverse, I guess. If she's in the main story, then there too.
明明是久别重逢的再会，他却完全没有认出我的迹象。
Wait, what? Is she the original Rita?
这个人以前就是这样，明明在其他事情上那么敏锐，却偏偏对自己的事情迟钝到让人无话可说。
What?
如果我换上这身衣服去见他的话，他会想起我吗？
Huh? But if I put on this dress...
你说呢，洛基？
Loki? Oh, I can't wait to get further into every story so that I maybe one day will revisit this and think, oh, that's it. Because I've never heard Loki. Is it someone or something in the lantern because she's looking at it? And which dress? What dress are you talking about if I would put on that dress? You can't do that to me. Ooh. It's so beautiful though. Really gotta appreciate the artwork. Huh. Am I supposed to know now? I might be supposed to know now, but I have no clue. What the heck? This was the best event ever. Period. Unless there's another detective-like event, because I would be completely down for that. But the Captainverse seems to be more interesting than I thought. Like in Kongming's event, the story was interesting, but I wasn't sure about what the Captainverse is all about, right? But now with this, waking up, nearly forgetting that he's the captain, and Rita and the outfit, I will remember that outfit. Until we're at the end of the Honkai journey or whatever. Because is it from the main story? Or is it from another event? Because, I mean, that could also just be the case. But this is awesome. Guys, please let me know what you thought of this event. Is it your favorite? Which is your favorite? And how did you like this one? And there were so many turns and twists at the end. I love that. It's so good, and it's perfect for a murder mystery, a detective-like story. It was awesome. So, now I'm going to process everything very, very, very slowly in my small brain, and I will look forward of reading your thoughts and comments and probably some explanations. And I hope I see you next time. Bye!